everyone. My name is Alicia Rio, and I'm here with Christian Sanchez and Alejandro Vasquez. Together, we are here to represent the nonprofit company ADAFC, the American Defense Association of Foster Children. We were recently founded in the month of April, and if you can't tell, we at ADAFC came together to defend the foster children. We plan on bringing awareness of abuse and other foster-related problems and ending foster care abuse entirely. We hope that through our efforts, all foster-related problems will end in 3 years' time. Not only do we intend to end the problems of today caused by foster care, but ensure that those who have a dark life now can have a brighter future. Now we are new to the battlefield that is the foster system, but that does not deter our resolve to fix the problem. Now, before I continue on the ramblings of our noble mission, I'm going to pass off this presentation to Mr. Sanchez.
Hello everyone. I'd like to introduce you to someone. Her name is Angelique Rose Clary, and yes, that is her real name. We're currently approaching her 15th birthday in less than a month, and she is living with her 2 loving parents and 1 older foster brother. She wants to make a change in the world and leave her mark when she grows up. But sadly, we'll never know if this would have come to fruition, because she was found dead at 3 months old under the care of Sabrina Stanford, her foster mother. In 2003, Angelique Rose Clary and her twin sister Tiffany were placed under the care of Sabrina Stafford. The girls were only 3 months old when they were placed in the foster system. Sabrina Stafford, a 41-year-old woman later known as Sabrina Banks, was arrested by Bakersfield police in the September of 2003. I'm telling you this because for 3 months, she was Angelique Rose Clary's foster mother. Foster child Angelique Clary, at the age of 3 months, was sadly found dead in her home on Castleford Street. Her sister's location or situation is unknown, but she survived. And despite Angelique's death, not all of the blood is on Stafford's hands.
Sadly, Angelique Rose Clary was found dead in her home when she was only 3 months old in 2003. The resulting cause of her death was neglection. And you know what happened to Sabrina Stanford? Do you know what the jury decided to judge her fate? Nothing. Absolutely nothing! Angelique Rose Clary's death was dubbed as accidental or as natural because at the time there was no conclusive evidence that confirmed that Sabrina was the cause of her death. This is what happened when Angelique Rose Clary left the system. This is what happened when a woman who was wrongly chosen for her by the state was placed in her care. And later on, Sabrina would change her last name Stanford to Banks and adopt another little girl. Her name was Lavender. This is her. She was 7 years old. And do you know what happened to her? She was found dead, choked to death in 2009. Due to the inadequacies of the state and the foster system, the innocent lives of 2 young girls were claimed. And who is to blame? Not only is it the foster system, but Sabrina Stanford. Karan Mason, his parents were chosen to care for him, to love him and cherish him, to be there when he had nobody else. And do you know what happened to him? He too was another casualty of the war on changing the foster system. He was rushed to the hospital and he died shortly after his 1st birthday. This is Mariah Sultana Mustafa. She is only 3 years old in this photo. And she was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead after ingesting meth for the 2nd time in 13 days. Why is it that she had access to this substance? Why is it that the family that was chosen for her by the state and the system letting her have access to this substance? Why is it that they failed to keep her safe? Why was it that she had to die in her brother's arms? This is Nneka Bennett. In 2016, she streamed her death. People encouraged it, people called the cops to prevent her death, but in the end, she claimed her life in her restroom by hanging herself with her scarf. She was judged as a hazard to herself, and yet the system failed to protect her, to care for her. Not only that, so did her foster mother. The foster system failed this child as well. This is Aiden Agmanalis. In this photo, he is 1 year old. After spending some time in the foster system, he's finally getting adopted. In 1 week, he will have a family that will love him and cherish him and is qualified to care for him and meet his every need to make sure that he will have a great life. He will have a great future. But he will never have that future, for he too is another casualty of the changes of foster care, the inadequacies of the system that failed to protect him. He was rushed to the hospital, and after many weeks, he was declared brain dead. He never got to see his future, his family. He never got to enjoy the wonders of life and love. He didn't get to speak his first words or truly know what it felt like to be loved. This is Stacy Duke. She's 15 years old. She spent her entire life after the age of 9 in the foster system, and her father in prison and her mother a drug addict. Whenever she was placed in a home, she would always run away just to return to her original family. Her grandmother was denied care of this child. Her father wanted to return to her. He wanted to become better for her. He did everything he could, but he was denied his right to care for his child. And in the end, after running away from her final home, Stacy Duke was found dead. Now, to say that the blood of these children is on the hands of the foster parents is false. It is also on the hands of those who are designed or declared to care for these children, to make sure that they are placed in these homes. This is why the foster system fails. It does not protect every single child. Now, to say that every home is poor and results in a child's death is false, but there's always a possibility that they are placed in an environment that may very well be their last. When the American Defense Association for Foster Children was founded, there was an idea to gather a group of people and have them be the paragons of those who cannot fight for themselves or defend themselves from their oppressors. Because when the voiceless cry out, no one ever hears their screams. We want to fix the problem that has festered since 1853, to fix a broken system that places children who have nothing left and give them something. And we want to give them hope, to let them know that their lives are not ending, they are only beginning, to make sure that they do not live a life that is unfulfilled or lived with regrets or fears or wishings or dreams of a better life, to make sure that we do not need organizations like the Covenant House, a system that is designed to provide care and shelter for the homeless and derelict youth, to make sure that when we disband, that we do not need sites like the Pound Pup Legacy, which brings awareness of the dark side of foster care or any child adoption agency, to make sure that when we disband, that we do not need Foster Focus magazine, a site designed to spread awareness of the problems of foster care and how many children are truly alone in this world, to make sure that when we disband, there is not even a 1% chance of danger, not a 1% chance of a child dying or even living an unfulfilled life, to make sure that they are safe and cared for and loved, so that way they can live their lives to the fullest and reciprocate that love to their children and their children's children, and to make sure that for all those children who have passed and died because they were not given the families that they deserved, that they are avenged, and the children of tomorrow are protected. Thank you.